Now, the 2024 presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party is Chase Oliver. He could make a difference, especially in the battleground states of Pennsylvania and Georgia. Now, as for libertarians, in 2016, for example, that party's nominee, Gary Johnson, received 4.4 million votes nationwide. In the 2020 election, the nominee, Joe Jorgensen, received 1.8 million votes. Right now, Oliver is on the ballot in at least 34 states. And joining us live from the swing state, his home of Georgia, the Libertarian Party presidential nominee, Chase Oliver. Chase, thanks for being with us here on the Hill.
Hey, thank you for having me. Look forward to speaking to you and speaking to your audience today.
Tell me what your goal is, Chase. You know where you're polling, which is, 0.5%, 1%, 2% nationwide. I just went through the numbers of sort of where libertarians have been in recent years. So I wonder what your goal is.
Well, first and foremost, my goal is to provide an alternative to voters so they can actually have a choice in the ballot that represents a lot of the concepts that actually founded this country and have made this country the economic engine of the world. Free market principles, things that you're not getting from Donald Trump with his economic protectionism, nor from Kamala Harris with her price controls. And it's about time that we have an alternative on the ballot that actually speaks free market principles, the ideas of limited government. And we're just not hearing that from any other campaign. And a lot of voters want to hear those principles put forward. And we're giving that option all across the country.
I wonder why it hasn't landed, though. Is it just simply a two-party system and that's the way this country is?
Well, I think voters are conditioned, much of it out of fear, to pick one side or the other or the lesser of two evils. But I remind voters as I travel across the country that when you pick a lesser of two evils, you're still picking evil. And if people, I hear all the time, oh, I would vote for you, except you wouldn't win.
Do you think they're evil? You think they're evil, though? Like, I hear you say you're picking evil. You think?
I think much of what the two-party system provides is an invasive, overly intrusive, and abusive state that invades our liberty up and down, from the federal all the way down to the most local government. So, yeah, we want to fight back against the abuses of government that you're not getting from Republicans and Democrats who continue the bloat, the debts, the deficits, the wars around the world using taxpayer dollars. There's plenty of evil to find in the Republican and Democratic Party that has not been addressed due to the nature of this binary two-party system.
So here's what Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, Chase, they both have released some of their economic ideas just in the last 2 days here. I want to get your reaction on the other side.
And we'll have the greatest sovereign wealth fund. We will build extraordinary national development projects and everything from highways to airports and to transportation infrastructure.
Under my plan, we will expand access to venture capital. We will support innovation hubs and business incubators. And we will increase federal contracts with small businesses.
Do you think, generally speaking, that either of them have it right going forward?
No, I think both of them look at economic issues and think the solution is going to be found in more government involvement in the marketplace. I would like to see an overall reduction in government involved in the marketplace. Let's lower the cost of doing business overall so it's easier to create a startup instead of having to increase incentives for small business. Let's just make it less expensive to start a small business on the government end. If we got government out of the way, you would see an explosion of jobs in the economy that's just not happening because too often government stifles the innovation, they stifle the marketplace growth, and they stifle small businesses because they give all the advantages to those who lobby to them, the giant corporate interests at the expense of the mom and pop.
Let me leave you with this, Jason. We're a little squeezed on time because we carried some live events. Pennsylvania, it could be the state that decides this election. And in at least one recent poll, you were running at 2%. In the Keystone State. We had our poll for the Hill and Emerson College that polled 950 people in Pennsylvania, and Donald Trump and Kamala Harris were separated by one voter, just to show you how close that is if you start multiplying that out. I wonder if you think that you could potentially tip the scales one way or another in Pennsylvania.
Well, one of the goals of the Libertarian Party is to be a disruptor of the two-party system, and whether it's one way or the other, we hope to disrupt this election enough to where voters can be provided more choices on the ballot. And let's change the way we vote. If we had ranked choice voting, there would be no so-called spoiler effect. But we have to make it hurt for the two-party system to give us that.
Can you say real quick, Chase, if you end up helping Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, which one you would rather help?
Either way, I don't feel like we're going to have a great commander-in-chief. I don't feel like we're going to have a great leader.
Okay.
So really, it's two sides of a terrible coin. I don't have a preference one way or the other.
Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.